not entirely sure the best way to go about the recap, but I suppose I can do it.
I could sum it up since the last session was actually kind of relatively short story-wise.
Yeah, this is true.
So, last time on Naruto, A New World, the party decided to continue its travel on trying to figure out where the fuck they need to go, and suddenly got ambushed. In the course of combat, Ryhn decided to flip some shit and start going Final Blast. Twice. No, actually, I think I only did it once now I think about it.
Once, yeah.
Yeah. And finds out that the ones attacking him was the ones that they were going to find, and Shiori's father. Well, in the course of this kind of upset Ryhn in a certain sense after connecting some mental dots, and he decided to say, fuck this shit, I'm out. And is now traversing by himself to locations not quite quite unknown, but yet not quite unknown.
Somewhere in the middle. So what this is going to be, for those of you listening at home,
composed to listening it elsewhere.
Well, you know. For those of you listening, what this is going to be from a upload standpoint. From an upload standpoint, this is going to be a two-part-ish thing where we're going to focus on Ryhn for a little bit to see what he does, and then we'll switch to the main group to see what they do in response to whatever they can figure out that Ryhn does. Whether or not they figure anything out, we don't know. So, entirely dependent on what Ryhn does and what the others figure out that he does, we will see what constitutes this session. But regardless, we're going to have Ryhn by himself for a little bit, and then switch and have Tsume and Shiori for a little while, and then that'll be this one. And to follow this session, there will be most probably a solo arc, a full session, more or less, of Ryhn continuing, assuming that he doesn't do something blatantly obvious and lead the main group to chase him. But we shall see.
That is a very tempting thing to do, to be honest.
What?
But we'll see.
Yes. Alright. So, for now, we begin this story again with Ryhn, as was mentioned, off by himself, journeying towards the desert because after being upset from the goings-ons, he decided to more or less head for the wall as Tsume and company were behind him discussing, well, in part, what had happened to Tsume while she was gone, which is what led to the previous set of sessions that I uploaded detailing what happened with Tsume. However, Ryhn, or Kelson in this case, didn't actually listen to those. So,
to prevent a chance of metagaming.
Both in and out of character, Kelson has no clue what he's getting into. So,
all the more fun, because I'm breaking the first rule of, tabletop games: do not split up the party.
On that, actually, I have decided that I, as a DM, actually kind of prefer that, as long as it's not in a situation where it would put one person
to be fucked?
Yeah. As long as somebody doesn't do something stupid to split the party, we're fine. And, well, unfortunately, Ryhn can't do anything stupid because he has an IQ of like 3,000. So.
There's always the emotional stupidity.
This is true. Alright. So, we begin with Ryhn traversing the grasslands.
The world map.
The world map, the grasslands, heading for the desert. Now, are you making a... Exactly how are you traversing to get to the wall? Are you just going straight there, or are you going to go to any
I kind of have to see the map.
Well, as far as the map's context, the wall is essentially.
That was more of a hint to pull up the map, please.
You are on the map, or you should be. The main map.
No, I'm in the little battle arena.
Right, sorry. I forgot. You don't see what I see, you see whatever the players is on.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that.
Yeah, I'm actually not that far from the wall by the look of it.
No, you're not. Basically, with a little bit of... I sort of didn't line it up the way that I wanted to, but more or less, along the start of the desert, there is where the wall is. You have like at least a decent points before the wall starts to really get in the way. And you essentially.
Okay. I want to kind of get to the point where Shiori and Knives' character was, because I know we met up there. Tsume.
Yeah.
My brain is flatlining.
So you think Ryan would have the wherewithal to head where they would originally found the door a while back or something?
Well, just the point where they met up, remember, because their party met up with their party at the wall.
Right, okay. So
that's would be the best kind of locate, best spot.
Yeah,
would go.
Vantage point to sort of look through the area of the wall. Now, how fast is Ryan moving to get to these sort of places? Is he just sort of...
Pretty much once he's out of the earshot, he's probably going to traverse relatively fast.
Alright. Is he
about how many days? Hold on. About how many days would this take?
If you traversed it at a normal sort of decent clip, it would probably be like maybe 2 or 3 days, unless you did something to move faster. Which, granted, they will also probably spend a night alone before they actually started to traverse to go anywhere. So,
well, here's the thing. If it's 2 to 3 days, let's say 3 days at the maximum, Ryan would probably, in an emotional state, skip 2 nights of sleep, and on the third one, sleep there.
Right.
Or at least close by to there.
Right. Which would cut the actual trek down just a tad, which puts him getting to that area on like
2 and a third day.
Yeah, on like the night of the second day, as opposed to any other time. And that's 2 days of travel, 2.5 days of travel into the night is when he's there, and then the rest of the group is...
They're going to be at least a third of the day away.
Yeah, more or less. Also, you left in the middle of them discussing things, so it could also be said that the 2.5, the half part of your travel, is going to be for them spent talking. They're going to sleep for the night there before they get anywhere, probably. And
so they're going to be more likely, possibly.
They're going to be like a day behind.
And Ryan will take the rest and then be fully awake to examine it.
Yep.
Which... Go on.
Which what? Sorry.
Go on with what you were going to say, because it'll probably depend on what I say.
Yeah. So, if Ryan is sort of just getting this base vantage point to look over the wall, this area that I've put you on the map is not quite center. It's just a hair off center from like the desert, because like the center of the desert would be somewhere around like here, and you're sort of right here. But you've gotten a pretty good vantage point to look all along the wall and see that it more or less traverses this whole distance of the...
What do I see chakra-wise?
Looking in it through the use of chakra, Sharingan, and whatnot, give me a spot check. Or search, if you're wanting to sort of search along the wall.
Let's see. Give me one moment to get over to a sheet. Search is the higher one.
Search is the higher one, obviously, because intelligence.
Oh boy, it's gonna be one of those days, isn't it?
That's not too bad. With a 22, that's not too bad. So looking through along the wall, you see that there is there's a pretty strong influx of chakra in the sort of in the wall itself. It seems to be the chakra to help put it up and to keep it there. But being that it is the chakra to hold the wall up and keep it there, it's sort of dispersed all along the wall, and there's not a whole lot of individual places where it's strong.
Then here's my question at this point: is there anywhere it looks like there's either two chakras or maybe a different kind of vibe of chakra?
Yes, I was getting to that. You have since you don't necessarily know the people or the signatures that you're looking at, you can see with a 22, you see a definitive. This is the chakra for the wall itself. That's sort of dispersed throughout the wall to keep it up, and then on one end, it's like literally the east and west end of the towards the ends of the east and west end of the wall. There is a stronger influx of chakra that is different than the chakra that's making the wall up. Now, since you're closer to this end down here, well, I get the right darn tool. Since you're closer to this end down here, you see its chakra better than you do like the one that's up at this far end. But
does it just look like it's just like it's putting a wall there to prevent people going around it?
What it looks like now you did get a pretty high roll. What it looks like is actually, and you're pretty smart too with the intelligence of huge, so you can kind of see it. Basically, what it looks like is it looks like there is a influx of chakra that's inside the wall, but not used to keep the wall up. So basically, it seems like there might be. It seems like the wall might be in some form hollow. It might have a crevice inside of it. That there's space where there's other things. Not entirely sure, but that's sort of what it looks like. Because the chakra that you're seeing that's not the wall's chakra is like behind the wall's chakra, if that makes sense.
Okay,
it's like
then,
you know what I mean?
I have an idea of what you're getting at. How high is this wall?
It is probably an easy, 50, 60 feet straight up. It's huge. I mean, you have jump, you can jump it, but...
That was my next question. How high can Murasaki jump?
Let me double check the jump check.
621. It's a plus 60.
Right, I know that. I'm talking about the context of a high jump in D20 terms. I looked this up before. I need to get this on a sheet somewhere that I can look at. So it's how high is it?
You're the DM.
No.
I want you to bear in mind one line from the technique. This also removes the maximum height cap on a jump for the duration of the technique.
Right, I'm aware. So, what is your... It's a plus 60, you said?
Yes, plus 60 bonus to the jump check.
Okay. So,
As the technique is almost like flying, when the user uses this technique, he can easily join the birds in the sky with a simple, effortless jump motion.
Yep. With that in mind, you could roll a jump check, and as long as you didn't roll like a 4 or a 5...
Technically, I could aim the jump and time it with the technique for a 10.
I suppose you could.
It's just a matter of timing, really. Just right before he takes off, pop the jutsu and...
I suppose this is true. Now, if you took a 10 on it, you know, you're sort of spending a little bit of extra time to focus.
Usually equivalents from anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. So you're taking a little bit of time to sort of focus and precision your
ready to jump.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you jumping? Where are you intending to jump to? Over the wall? On the wall? Or
over?
Like totally over?
One leap and bound, Supermaning the fucker.
Okie dokie. Alrighty then. Roll for me your jump.
I believe we just established to take the 10.
Oh, right. You did. I didn't say that. I'm dumb.
Which ends up being a 70.
Hang on. I got to do a thing. Where is? Oh, right. This. Dear. I need that.
And I don't have to roll for it.
Right. Obviously, I know.
Besides the fact is I have mastery fully on this thing.
So, you jump the wall.
Mm-hmm.
You realize
you were not expecting this, were you?
Not entirely, but that's fine. I can work with it. You jump, and you have a little bit of this area revealed. Hooray! Because
all I can say is about fucking time.
You jump the wall like entirely. Now, the reason I didn't reveal a lot of this map is because you realized pretty early on, you just jumped this like 60, 70 foot wall. And on the other side, in this desert, there's one heck of a sandstorm going on. It's... I mean, I totally see Ryhn because he timed it and precisioned his thing. He like jumps, sees as he starts to land, as he's flying through the air, sees that there's like this big influx of sand and dirt and whatever crap, so he like quickly puts up his visor or whatever to not get dirt and sand in his eyes as he goes to land.
Goggles, because he does still have those.
Goggles, you know, whatever. And so yeah, you are on the other side of the wall. Now what?
Alright. I'm going to kind of turn around and look at the wall, because even at close proximity of the thing, I'm going to see if the different chakra is still within the middle of it, or if it was past it.
Yep. The walls... Now, it's a little bit harder, but you know where you're looking, so I won't have you necessarily roll for it. It's a little bit harder because all the sand and dirt and crap, but your Sharingan eyes just sort of pierce through all that mess. Plus you have goggles, so you're fine. But yes, the influx of chakra that you saw is inside the wall. It wasn't past it, it was in it. So, you jumped and now you've passed it.
Is the chakra on this side of the wall thinner, or is it still the same level of spread out?
More or less, yeah. It is the same. The wall is essentially, as it is evident to you, the wall has some crevice on the inside, and it's pretty clear that the wall is just as thick on this side as it is on the other.
Give me one moment, I am checking up something. Because I have an idea, and I just kind of want to see if it's possible. And it's just more kind of looking up and reading the description of something. Okay, I'm going to use stone replication.
Okay.
To essentially make a clone of myself, and send the stone one in. See what it sees.
How are you going to get into the wall? Exactly.
Oh, it's going to try walking into the wall.
Where you're at, this part of the sand wall, it's more or less sand. Solid sand. It moves.
It's also solid stone going into it.
Yeah. I mean, if he blitzed and ran into it, I suppose he could have a chance to, like, hurt it or something. Yeah, you know what? Do a... let's see here. See what this technical stuff's...
What are you trying to specifically look for? I might have already have the information for you.
I was going to... It's basically, essentially, your stone clone is bull rushing the wall.
Ah.
Let's see.
You're trying to figure out how to, you know, roll for that.
Yeah. How precisely to roll for it. Isn't the stone clone considered, like, heavier or bigger than you normally? Because stone?
Yes. Actually, it has more weight.
Does it say it has a different size category because it's bigger?
No, but it weighs 6 times what I do.
Right.
And also including all the equipment.
Alright. So... your strength is... +4 normally. And he has your strength. You're doing it as part of as a bull rush, so that gives you a +2. So that's +6. And then he's 6 times heavier than you are, and you're doing it from a further distance away. You're sort of running into it.
You're just trying to figure out the math on this, aren't you?
More or less. Sure. Roll for me a d20 plus 9. Alright. Now, I'm going to say...
Oh, actually it does. Oh, it has one size category larger. Oh, it's
Okay.
for grapple. Oh, grapple, bull rush, trip, and disarm
Yeah,
attacks.
I figured.
So,
Okay, so it's
that's plus 10.
20. It's one size category. He's one size category bigger for purposes of bull rush and grapple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's plus
So-
11 instead of plus 9, so 20.
That's an even 20.
Yep. Now roll for me a d6 plus strength is 4. So d20 plus 4 for your strength, and then plus 3 more, or d6 rather. D6.
You need my attack?
Basically that counted as your... Actually,
Well,
yeah,
if it's a
you're right,
melee
you're-
thing, it's a +8. Because that
Right.
is the 4 is my base attack.
Alright, so we're going to do d6 plus 4 for your strength, and then plus 6 more for how hard you're hitting this thing, because the wall doesn't really have a DC to miss to hit. So D6 plus 10. Okay. Make for me, because you just slammed into this wall. Make for me a chakra control check.
Okay, give me one moment to go get that number.
Oof.
Okay.
Alrighty then, 37.
You were expecting that to be a low number, weren't you?
No, it's fine. So you're sort of looking on as your stone clone just sort of barrels into this wall. And he makes a sizable dent into the wall's surface before he's able to sort of... He basically slams and then just sort of pulls his way in, kind of like... it's kind of like when you're pulling yourself up out of the water, but in reverse to go into the water, kind of thing. And he gets in, and you see that the sort of influx of chakra that's around your stone clone just sort of pushes out to help push its way in and push the other chakra away as he's trying to
swim.
Basically, yeah, swim. And then, yeah, your stone clone makes it into the wall. So for
what does
that,
it say?
You basically see a very long, very sort of narrow hallway, essentially, and seems like for the entire length of the wall, there's this a good 20 feet gap where there's space to move. It's basically like a tunnel. And I actually have a map for that. So let me take...
You were expecting me to do something stupid, weren't you?
No, well, I was hoping for you to go into the wall, so I actually had a map for that. So...
Well, I sort of did. Not directly.
Not directly, and not the way I was intending you to, but it works. Then copy this one, because it's got the thing on it, and... You're on like this side over here. Boop. And I will pull your token in here just in case you decide to come in yourself later. I'll just sort of put you on the edges of the
map
wall. Just in case you decide to come through his hole. But you can see through his eyes, so you can see where he's at before you go in. I'm going to set you on Dr. Ku's map so I can scroll over because my computer's dumb. There we go. There we go.
So all I see is just this long tunnel of nothing?
It is a long tunnel. And looking in, does it say Stone Clone would have all of your traits?
Give me one more to go back over to it. I believe it technically has all my stats because it's only a clone made out of stone. Like, it has all my equipment and all that. The only thing you can't have is like the expendable stuff, like the tags and stuff like that.
The clone can use any feat, skills, talents, and special abilities, excluding templates and bloodlines. So he
it
doesn't
can't
have
do chakra, but
it doesn't have your Sharingan.
No, it doesn't. But Rhyn can see it from the outside to kind of aim for what it see from the inside.
Yeah. There is you're kind of on this side, and you sort of looking through the stones non-Sharingan eyes, you see that the tunnel kind of dips just a tad over here on this end this way, and way off in the distance to the other end it does the same thing. Now, for purposes of this map, just as a heads up, for purposes of this map, I didn't make it super long because that would be annoying for me to try to go back and forth. But like this distance in the middle here is actually more than just 5 feet. So this whole little area does in fact cover the full length of the wall. So,
what? Like every box is 25 feet compared to
something like that, yeah.
Okay, well,
I'm not necessarily good at judging that kind of context, but basically, yeah.
Well, then Ryhn is going.
I don't intend for players to have combat in the middle of this tunnel.
Then suddenly Ryhn and his clone starts to spar. No.
Yeah, really. Anyway.
Okay, Ryan's going to fall on the outside while the Stone Cold's going to go towards the difference of the chakra that he spotted earlier.
Yeah. Okay. So following along this side. Going to the right or to the left? The one that's closer to the one that's further?
The closer one.
Alright.
Which, if this was flipped, it would probably be the other side, to be honest. But it just depends on how you have this oriented.
Technically this is the end you're closest to.
Alright.
For how I have it in my head.
Alright, just letting you know how it could easily be misperceived.
Right. I guess you are right. It would be technically.
Well, actually, it just depends, because if he's on this side over here, which means he's on the side with the sandstorm, then this whole map is technically flipped 180.
Yeah.
Because what it would be, if the sandstorm was down here, then he would technically be here with the clone, like here. You understand?
Yeah. It's because it's perception. If you'd come in on, if you're coming to the wall itself this way, because this is the
if this was the regular way and not the sandstorm way.
Yeah, if this was the regular way in, the one portal is to your left, and the one portal is to your right. This is the portal to your left. This is the portal to your right, because that's where you are.
Yeah, that's why I was asking for orientation.
And facing the map from coming in, you know, you were closest to the one on your, as in Ryan's character, right.
Which would now be his left.
Yeah, precisely.
That's why I was just asking orientation, just in case if it mattered.
Yep, it only kind of does, but I can keep track of it. I just can't explain it very well. So, anyway, so you are here, and you're sort of traversing down this way. And you do see the edges of this wall here. And, boop.
It's a bed of moss.
It is actually a portal. It should cite.
I was making a joke because of the light green off color.
Yeah, it's the green. The green is like the influx of chakra and other various things. It's basically a very swirly sort of portal. And as far as like what's actually inside, your stone clone can't see into it to see if there's anything really there. But it does look like it essentially looks a lot like the portal that Tsume came running out of when you found her in the Tiger Forest before. That sort of summon realm portal kind of thing.
Makes sense. Give me one moment, one check. That was Ghost heading outside for a moment.
Oh.
Alright, I'm going to have the clone go into the portal and pretty much see what it sees.
Alright. Sort of just step through and see what he sees?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. I'm not going to move you over to that map yet, unless you go there yourself, because there's not a whole lot for me to describe that's on that other side. You, basically, when you go into that map, you go into what is essentially very similar to the deserty sandstorm that you were just in on the other side of the wall. Except here, there's a big difference. Here, there is a moon, like literally a moon. It goes from being middle of the day to being nighttime. And up in the sky, there is like the harvest, the big large harvest moon that makes all the sand effectively look red because the lighting and moonlight and whatnot. It makes the sand drastically different on this side.
Alright, well, the clone is just going to continue kind of traversing. To be honest, you probably should put me on that map and have just the clone there.
Okay, I can do that. Let's see here.
Because you know what I'm using the clone for, right?
Scout.
Bingo.
Oh yeah, I totally get it.
Well, it makes more tactical sense. Even in our emotional state, Rhyn is thinking relatively smart instead of blundering right in.
There you go.
There I go for what? I'm still on the tunnel map.
Oh, right. I forgot to actually put you there. I keep forgetting. You're making me use so many maps. Quit it. There you go.
I'm in the sand of Kool-Aid.
Yeah, kinda. Red tint plus the brown for the sand that I was using equals sort of orange. So yeah.
Alright. The clone is just gonna kind of walk. I've already checked. There is no distance limitation for these clones.
Right, I know. It's a good thing there isn't, because if there was, you'd have issues. Anyway.
The only limitation that it has is it only gets a -2 penalty on certain rolls if it's 100 feet away from its source.
Yeah. Alright. Also, since you're actually doing this, this is kind of cool. You realize that because of how intelligent Ryhn is, and because of how like cloning works for your senses and perception, you realize very quickly upon going into this world map that time passes differently in this world than it does outside. So you, as a person, feel like your clone should have only moved, maybe been walking for like 15 minutes for you, but for the clone on the inside it's much longer than that. What sort of duration does the stone clone have?
Time-wise?
Time-wise.
1 minute per level. And
Yeah.
level 9, so it has about 9 minutes.
Alright. So, it gets in here and it sees that it's sort of sandstormy and sand of Kool-Aid. And it's getting pretty close to the end of its cycle of time that it can do stuff. Because this is not time for you, or not time for it, this is more time for you. Because, you know, it's based
Here's
off
the
of your...
kicker. But here's an idea. I kind of want to do a daisy chain effect here.
Okay.
Because the clones get a checker pool of 10. If I technically have it summon a clone of itself, that means the thing has to switch over to that, which means it's refreshed.
This is true. You would be spending the You would still be spending the chakra. Well,
No,
I
the
guess your
clone gets 10, so it's making a clone of a clone and it's switching over to that.
sort of refresh the timer, and also
Bingo.
set the timer for in there instead of outside.
Bingo.
Okay, fair enough. I'll let you do that.
This is what happens when you actually read the book, people.
Oh no, I'm perfectly fine with this. Alright.
Well, I was saying that to the people listening.
Yeah. I don't have to really adjust the map, so you're good.
Yeah. So, new clone, and it traverses.
Continues on. Alright. So, you get a little bit further in, and it's very sandy, very like dusty and hard for you to tell really what's what.
But he's able to tell direction because he's only going one direction.
Oh yeah, he's not going to get lost. Plus the door to get in here is like directly behind him, and unless he goes all the way to the other end of the desert, he's pretty much going to be able to see it. He gets further in, and then he realizes there's a place in the sand where there is a hole.
No, that's gonna... Mind you, pretty much while this is happening, Ryhn has his lookout making notes.
Right,
so he can't get lost if he decides to enter. So what kind of hole is this?
Basically this hole looks like it's made by a really large, we're talking huge creature size category huge, a really large creature, burrowing kind of creature of some sort. And it's not fresh. This particular hole has been there a while. But it's pretty much
Does
very
this look
dark.
like a hole that goes straight down, or is it angled?
It goes straight down for at least a good 50 feet before it even starts to angle. So it's a nice pit for purposes of people who are on above ground.
And it could be easily fell into because of the storm.
Yep, it's true.
Alright, well, Ryhn will make a note of it in his book and send the clone forward, thinking it is just a trap for people not paying attention.
Well, yeah, he's pretty much right on that regard. So you traverse more.
Pretty much stepping where he's continuing in line of the portal.
Yep, staying in line with the portal. More sand. Not a whole lot else that you can see. There's another hole over here.
Ryan's kind of like using his book and making a note of this. This is just gonna keep going. I'm just telling you that now.
Oh, I know.
Until, you know,
something happens.
let me guess. Another hole.
Give me a spot check.
Alright. Let me go see what my spot is. That ain't bad.
Good, 22. So, with a spot check of 22, as you start to traverse more forward, you spot that there's movement in this hole over here.
In the hole or coming out of the hole?
Like, it's there's sound and movement that something's like starting to come up out of the hole.
Well, since this is a sandstorm, the clone is just going to kind of duck down and use the actual sandstorm to cloak itself as it sort of makes its way this way. Not going direct beelining to it, but more off to the side and blending in.
So, let's see. You have hide, but you have no ranks in it. Do for me a hide.
But also, you gotta
Yeah,
Go on.
you're getting a hide at a +6 as opposed to just a +2.
I'm debating if I want to do an action point.
Yeah, if you want.
I might as well do one just in
Nah, you don't have
case.
to.
Huh?
You don't have to.
Ah.
I rolled for it to try to spot you and it doesn't. So, I present you with the... Now, if you go to look in the book for this, which you might, and technically there is a page for it, kinda, I modified this creature slightly because when I first came across it in name, I kind of thought it was something else, but then I started reading it and was like, I like what I had in mind better. So, this is slightly homebrewed, tweaked version of this original summoning creature. Have you ever seen Tremors?
Yeah.
It's like them.
Oh. Okay.
That large, basically worm that's traveling through the sand and burrowing. It sort of looks out, which when it looks out you see that it doesn't really have eyes in the same way that humans do, and it just sort of looks around and then back into the hole.
I see.
Yep.
Okay, so what do I see down this way? Because of the way he's angled, kinda should be able to see that way.
Oh yeah. More holes. This is starting to look like an area that, were it
Holier
not,
than thou.
yeah, were it not for you can pretty much get the whole map at this point, more or less. Were it not for the sand and desert and insanity, there is a very definitive, like, this is sort of a hive or home type thing. And super intelligence of Ryhn knows that there's probably more tunnels that are down deep below where all these things are meandering about. And it essentially looks like you just dodged the quote-unquote lookout. As far as this actual desert, you don't really see anything else other than this in here.
Alright. But Ryhn is going to send the clone here to examine this hole since it's a nearby one. And see if it is like this one here.
Right. This one in particular, it's a little bit, it's not as deep. It doesn't appear to be as much of a trap as the first one was. It's sort of like if you, because Ryhn could easily pick up on this, if these large, like, glacial worms are, like, super long, whatever made that one, it probably jumped straight up and went straight down, like, the full length of its body, that was like 60 feet, before it curved and went somewhere else to travel. That's why that one's so low. This one, it looks like something was only maybe 30 feet down before it came up. So, this one's not necessarily a pitfall of doom. You would still have to, like, catch yourself if you fell, if you were a normal person, but
this is a rock.
Stone Clone wouldn't have as much issues with it, necessarily. Granted, the Stone Clone runs the risk of, if there's
alerting.
If there's another tunnel, like, directly under where this one was, he's going to be too heavy and he might just fall through. And it'd be like he's sort of tumbling through the hive, through the roofs and ceilings of the rooms below.
That would be an interesting thing.
Yep.
Also, it does give me an idea for another thing I want to talk to you after this recording.
Right. Also, on that, you should you would probably have your stone clone at this point for timing purposes.
Refresh.
Refresh again.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But that is what your clone sees on that side of the wall.
Hmm.
And, I mean, I'm not even going to put more of the map because there's really no need. It's just a whole lot more of the same.
So the only kind of move from here is essentially going down.
Either going down to explore the tunnels, or, you know, just bringing him out of this one and perhaps going and investigating the other side of the actual wall that Ryan's in right now. Or near, rather.
Hmm.
Is Rhyn actually in the wall, or is he on the outside still? In the sandstorm?
He's kind of in like the middle ground. He's by the hole that the first clone made.
Okay.
Just enough to kind of camouflage on one side, and if he needs to bail out of the wall, he can.
Okay. Yeah. At this point, on the outside of the wall, there is Rhyn with his own chakra sense. He's able to pick up on that intermediate chakra that's throughout the wall itself is starting to flex and flux just a bit, and the hole that your stone clone made is slowly starting to repair.
Then Ryan's going to stand back out into the sandstorm, and he has himself covered up, so none of it's actually hurting him.
Right. Okay. Alright. Well.
And, what, I'm gonna end up doing is having the, clone go back to the door and check the other one. And, you know, refresh if need to, but if in here does in here run faster or slower to the outside?
In here runs, basically in here is much, I don't know what the technical term is because time's annoying and stupid for me sometimes.
Okay. When it comes to here, what's the normal world? Is it running faster or is it running slow?
In here, traveling for, if he was in here for a day,
yeah,
it would take probably 3 days out there.
Okay, so in here is running slower.
Yeah.
So he could easily have the clone make it to the other side and not have to refresh.
To get out of this, from right now, if the clone was wanting to leave this realm, yeah, he could head out without having to refresh.
Well, no, I mean even if he refreshed in here right at the door and walked the rest of the way to the other side.
Yeah.
Because my curiosity is getting the better of me on this one, and that's exactly what I want the clone to do. To check the other hole.
Check the other end of the wall or on the outside?
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. On the inside, because the clone's going to be on the inside of the wall.
Right, yeah. I'm saying inside, or I'm saying outside as in where the wall itself
outside
is.
Outside of this dimension.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
So, you might as well go over to that, whatever map is on that one.
Okay.
Because I figure it's probably a door as well.
Didn't make that very hard to figure out, did I?
No, you kind of gave it away.
Yep, that's fine. There is a portal.
Besides the fact that he sees the two stronger ones being similar, it's actually not that hard to do. So, what's through the other portal? Because this seems like to be a the 50-50 gambit. So far as it stands.
Alright, so you're going through this side then.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. This side's much different than the last one. You might want to be very careful on this end. Here is very interesting. Now, I don't know if you can tell, I don't know how far zoomed in you are, but the...
You mean besides the fact that it looks like it's cracked tiles surrounded by what looks like dirt tiles leading up to a house?
Yes. These tiles here, if you look close, they're not entirely dirt, they're actually grass, but the grass is dead. It's like, it's almost...
the cracked tiles?
The cracked tiles is essentially what they look like, cracked tiles. It's like it's literally like a sidewalk leading straight up to this little house that is over here, and these little patches here are actually, you know, dim lit lights, because the reason the rest of this is black is because it's not blocked by sand, it's just outright dark, and you don't have, your stone clone's not gonna have like a dark vision or anything like that to see through it, so yeah, but it's very dark on the edges there, and this just basically looks like a very sort of disheveled sidewalk leading up to the house here.
Alright, well, the clone's gonna kind of go around, noticing it's on tiles, and go around the portal, and walk on the dead grass instead, to avoid making sound.
On the tiles itself, or on the stone itself?
Yeah, it kind of pretty much comes like, it goes here, behind the portal, here, if I can get, and then up this way, goes through the grass.
Alright.
You understand?
Yeah, I got it. I got what it's doing.
Yep. And it's slowly kind of like, it's staying like close where it can dive into the darkness if it needs to hide.
Right. Roll for me, if you would, move silently.
This is gonna bite me in the ass, I just know it. Now I just gotta find where the fuck I have it. If I even put it on here. Oh, there it is. Oh, I actually have some ranks in the damn thing.
Yeah, you
Prize or fucking prize. Oh, not bad.
Okay. So... yeah. You're just sort of meandering up this way.
Well, he's more trying cautiously. And actually, I should probably end up doing a search check to see, you know, what he sees.
Search in the darkness, yeah. You can totally do that.
Let's see, I believe it's that number, but I want to make sure. Yep, okay, it is that number.
Okay. You sort of look over here, sort of this end of the wall, and it's sort of hard in the darkness to see, but you see an...
What end of the wall? Oh, okay, there it is.
Of the house, sorry. There's an ogre over here. He has this big, like, monster, club in his hand. Though... He seems to be, like, if you look, like, it appears like he's holding the club in a hand that he's not really
It's not his dominant hand?
Yeah, he's holding his club in his non-dominant hand at the moment. And he's just sort of cradling, like, you know how you cradle an arm that's been hurt recently?
Is he doing the Peter Griff going...
Not that, no. But he might as well be, the way he's holding his hand. He also has a rather large, like, almost cartoon bump on the top of his head.
Does he have stars going around his head too?
No, he does not.
Is he paying attention to the path, or is he more focused on, you know, his concussion and fucked up arm?
He's looking out, sort of, in the vicinity of this. He's looking this way, but he's only seems to be half paying attention, and he's looking out into the darkness as well.
Which means he probably has either low light vision or dark vision.
Oh yeah.
What color is the cracked tiles?
It's like concrete. It's like I said, it's basically like a sidewalk. Also,
the color is the dead grass.
The dead grass is a very dark gray. Essentially, the sidewalk is a little lighter, just a tad. And it should be noted also that you sort of get the sense that though this house up here looks on the map looks like a normal house, the house is actually made out of mud and earth and sand, and it doesn't look like this house or this walkway were. It looks artificial. It looks like they were put here rather than, you know, the land developed and they were put here. It's like how you can look at a sidewalk in the middle of a forest, and you know that the sidewalk is man-made, but the forest isn't, kind of thing. Yeah, it's like that. Both the house and the sidewalk look like they're not so originally a part of here.
Okay, well, while the ogre is looking more towards the from his angle left, Ryan's going to have the clone kind of go up this way,
okay,
up towards the house.
Alright.
What does the clone see?
Well, I'll give you what he sees, and this is where we'll sort of end it off for you.
Okay.
Because I was going to do sort of a half and half, and just in case there's a decent amount of session from the other group, I wanted to have, like, some leeway there for Saraph. So, but I will stop the recording with you once I get this spoken, and then I will let you talk whatever you want to discuss with me after the recording. But essentially, you walk up, and the doorway to this sort of mud home, it doesn't necessarily have a door, it just sort of has an archway. And as you've grown closer, since Ryan's stone clone doesn't have any sort of decent eyesight other than a normal person, now that you've gotten closer, you see that along the walls and over the edges of the wall is roses. There's like a rose vine that is decorating the archway like Christmas lights.
Did we suddenly just step into Yu Yu Hakusho? Kurama all over the place?
Maybe. But yeah, it's open archway. You can go. You could easily walk. The stone clone could easily just walk right in. The quote-unquote guard, as it were, is not doing a very good job currently.
Well, there is one thing before you end this that I'm going to have the clone kind of do. While the guard is not doing his job, I'm going to have the clone go behind the house.
Which direction is he moving to go behind it?
Well, since I can guess the guard is more kind of angle looking this way.
Yeah.
That means he would go this way, and this way.
Alright.
Or at least, unless he sees, yeah, pretty much one of those. I mean, if he sees someone like standing this way, he's going to kind of cut himself off in that sense. But if there's nothing in this well of blackness that he's, you know, constantly perceiving here.
Right, yeah. Give you some of that. It's all the same, but I'll give you some of that. Yeah. Alright. At the moment, Ryhn doesn't necessarily see anything. On the opposite side of the back wall of the house, there's no doorway or entryway or anything like that. But you are behind.
Not even a window?
Nope, no windows.
Alright, well, pretty much what Ryan's going to do is kind of like more gather information, so he's just going to do the whole refresh trick to preserve time.
Yep.
And use pretty much the ground behind the house, which is not being observed.
Right.
Pretty much kind of like one of those, you make a clone, clone, turn back to dust. Oh, there's some sand here. Let's turn the sand back into it. No.
Right.
Pretty much back and forth to minimize.
Roll for me, chakra control. Okay, you're good.
So should I do a sign off?
You can do a mini sign off. Yeah.
This is Ryan's solo session of Naruto, A New World. Join me next time, where I get to do more Solid Snake shit.
And let's hope that the world doesn't explode in the process.
Do 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 do.
I think it's the mixer.
It is the mixer because it's got an IntelliPan programmed into it, and I can't get it to turn off. I'm trying to like figure it out. Because like what the IntelliPan does is I can do craziness like this and make it weird and echoey. And I can make it do like stuff like this. And like,
that's cool.
I don't even know what that one is or what this one is.
I don't know what any of these are because I can't hear myself.
That'll be great for the recording.
So that you can hear that.
Please. That'll be great. Just leave this part in.
It'd be like on a side note.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go before we started. So yeah, I'm gonna go through and do this like super in-depth like tutorial thing sometime and figure out what the fuck. But
yeah,
that's only an hour. I'll do it in the morning. It's only an hour.
Alright. So
it worked for what I needed it to do last night, so
okay. Alrighty then. Now then. So we join back up with the rest of the group as did you listen to the final like 4-hour ending to Tsume's solo arc?
Oh yeah. It was 3 hours and it was like 3 hours and 15 minutes and then almost an hour of dead silence.
What?
Are you serious?
I'm not kidding.
It totally should not have been. That's like it came out in my. Alright, I'll just go and edit it down later.
I don't know. Maybe you want to like listen to where it cuts off and make sure that it didn't cut off any of the actual audio.
Yeah, I'll go back and look at it. Anyway, regardless, it's there. I'll just have to fix it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so you did listen to it though, and it was audible.
I did.
It just had dead silence.
Oh yeah, no, it sounds fine. I even listened to the last hour of it.
Alright, fair enough. So, yay for the...
I was engrossed in Star Moves, and I didn't really feel like
changing it.
Coming off of it.
Thank you for giving me the what's it called? Playtime, whatever it is for YouTube. Anyway.
What in the fuck are you doing?
Oh, what? Oh.
Why are you butter?
So, as it is, Tsume has just, in context, finished this tale of what happened to her, and I don't know if we want to do a short recap version for the people listening or what, but basically, yeah.
Tsume just basically sat there and just explained to Shiori what she has been going through, what adventures she has been on, what drama she's been through.
Alright. And as she was starting to go into all of that mess, Ryhn stormed off because he was upset, and which led to Ryhn having his own little mini arc of what he did. Which was before all this, to you listening.
Yep, and right now Tsume is a bit worried.
So, this having come off of what happened at the end of Tsume's story, what are you guys what is Shiori's response to having heard all, quote unquote, heard all this from Tsume?
And also Kira being there.
Well, yeah, she's, anything involving, hold on, so I kind of caught the implication that, Akira is controlling Chinatsu, like, through puppetry?
Yep.
Okay, anytime that's ever brought up, Shiori's just going to, like, she's going to very pointedly glare at Akira, because, like,
right.
To her, that's kind of messed up, and she doesn't, like, she's gonna let, she's gonna let, Tsume finish her, what, brain? What? She's gonna let, Tsume finish, what she was saying, and then go, then look at, Akira and say, "Is Mom alright?"
As well as she can be.
No, I want an actual answer.
Give him a chance.
She's not as she was before. She is not. She is technically not alive, but her mind, her will, her spirit, as it were, is still there. It's just not the person that it used to be. And if I don't control her and do whatever Mitsu wants me to do with her, then she's going to give Chinatsu off to some other puppeteer, and I'd never see her again.
See? I could have grabbed her and we would have been out of there in no time. But nope, gotta do it right.
I know that, but as I said before, if I leave that wall, if we'd left that, it just would have led to
you being free of Mitsu's control faster.
Yeah, I suppose. But it's complicated. And you know...
Why does everyone seem to think that's such a terrible thing?
Akira is just... Mitsu's not as in control as she seems to be. And she is... Now, he sort of looks to Tsume, but Tsume having been there, she's not as apt to do something harsh or as destructive, because now she's been given hope.
So basically I put a wrench in her plan.
You put a wrench in Sozin's plan, not hers.
Sozin's plan. How do you know that?
Because I'm smart enough to understand what's been going on with her. If we stop her, defeat her, whatever, or go against her in an extreme enough way, Sozin's gonna catch wind of it, and we're all dead. dance on eggshells with what I say, because if I say too much, she's going to be able to tell. And if you remove the seal, she's definitely going to be able to tell.
Alright, well, that's my story now. Kind of thinks what's going on. What are we gonna do about Ryhn? He just walked off towards the wall.
He sort of looks off in the direction that Ryhn went, and he's... What do you expect him to do?
I mean, he's not as fragile.
As
But-
who?
From what I can tell,
think-
from what I can tell in fighting him, he seemed maybe bigger and burlier, strength-wise,
He's all
but
he's all show, and when he gets out of that show, not much.
he seemed to be a pretty talented fighter, though. And then he sort of looks off in the direction of more pointedly towards the wall itself. And if he made a beeline anyway and went right for the wall, he's not really close to Mitsu.
Yeah, but thing is, we don't know what he knows. So, I mean, he's been doing a lot of things.
That was harsh. That whole confrontation was harsh on all of us. If we want, we might better rest, because it is getting in towards nightfall, and that was harsh on all of us. And then make our way towards the wall in the morning and see what we can
The
find.
thing is, we would probably lose track of stopping him, and it might be too late.
Does he
But
seem like the
I understand.
Does he seem like the type to travel at night?
Yes.
Fair enough. Well, I say it's up to the medic. She should know what our parties are capable of at this point.
What exactly happened before we came into the group with you guys?
We found the last few days we found a shapeshifter, met a kid whose dad was injured. We went to go to Segatea and find a doctor who turned out to be Azagiru, big fucking surprise. And we captured her, we turned in the shapeshifter, they're both in prison, I hope. And then we went to go find his dad, and we found him, and he had his eyes taken out, and then some kind of snake guy and another kid attacked us, and we took down one of them, and the other one got back up and left, and I'm not sure I'm okay with that.
He got back up.
He was dead, and then he was not dead. And I, again, am not sure I'm okay with
Was
that.
he a little kid?
Yeah.
Akira at this point sort of he looks to Tsume and he's Yoshi.
No shit.
From before.
We've heard
remember?
that name. Yeah. that's who I was talking about. She looks at Shiori and be like, "Do we know a Yoshi?"
We, yeah, oh, fuck, I forgot his name. The cop.
Mikashi.
Mikashi, yeah. Mikashi's friend was named Yoshi, but he wouldn't be that young. Oh, speaking of Mikashi, she pulls out the container that has the 2 eyes that she took from the serpent guy, and she's like, "More things I'm not proud of."
Okay.
To be fair, if it's it was pretty well determined by Shiori that Yoshi was, for all intents and purposes, a zombie, and if Yoshi has been resurrected as a zombie, but he was killed at the point in which he was a child, then he wouldn't have aged. So
yeah, but she's still like coming to grips with the fact that a dead man got back up on his feet and left. So
not just
yeah.
A dead man, mind you, a dead child.
A dead child got back up on his feet and just left. That's not something she's dealt with before, so that's still like not a thing that happens.
Yeah, fair.
What kind of? Oh, sorry. I'm looking at a specific list, and there's a thing on this list, and I'm like, what is that?
Okay.
Sorry.
What kind of information have you gotten, or anything?
Dalred, I don't know what kind of information I've gotten. We know that.
Okay. Okami is going to sit there and peep up.
Oh, good. I'm so glad the brains of the operation is here, because the brains of Shiori's operation is not. Namely Shiori, because I'm the one that has to remember all of stuff for her, and I'm terrible.
Yeah.
Yes, and Okami is just going to sit there and be like, well, the missing member sat there and gathered up all the informations and stuff, so he knows the most than us, since he dabbled in their minds, apparently. So I'd be like, dabbled in their minds? How? I'd be like, I don't know.
Was Tsume with them when Ryhn learned mind transfer?
Nope, don't think so.
No.
Right. She was with them when he learned it, back when they were on the boat. But
yes,
he
but
didn't actually use it and succeed until she was gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Fair enough. Akira looks to Tsume and it's like, well, glad he didn't try to possess your mind while you were the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not be too happy about that. That's... I have my limits.
Oh my god, what did you do?
So, this is Akira again. No, actually not Akira, this is Murasaki. So, what do we do?
Who, if Murasaki is there, Shiori is sitting in her lap.
No.
Yeah.
Protecting her.
Kami's gonna be like, well, it seemed like Rhyn knew a lot about the wall, and possibly... Or what's all the information, right? Would Okami know all the information that Rhyn was willing to share when he possessed the little kid's mind?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he said all that.
Yeah.
He even showed you the picture that they got from that he got from Ryan's or from the kid's bag that helped you to helped him and Shiori connect the dots that it was actually Mikashi's friend Yoshi.
Okay.
Makashi, that's who I remember. Okay. But apparently he something about a door. Tsume kind of pipes up and it's like, a door? She looks at like Akira. Kind of getting a little bit more nervous.
Well, there is a door, in fact.
You mean the door in the sand wall?
Yeah.
Okay. He would know where that is.
So he does know.
Well, he was with us, wasn't he?
He came to meet up with you. He didn't actually go to the door itself.
He didn't go to the vault with Shiori and Mikashi and Tsume, but
because I thought he was there when we finally got a hold of Shara.
No.
Okay, sorry.
That's
fine. That's why I was saying that.
Ryhn
found out about the door by possessing Yoshi's mind and prying information out of it.
Yep. So do we chase after him? I mean,
sit there and be like, I want to make sure he's not going to sit there and screw up our mission. But we need to keep going, or else Mitsu's going to be wondering, why is it taking so long?
Yep. Ryan is also...
out of curiosity, because I missed this, what exactly is the mission?
The mission for Tsume and Akira are to go to
Garakotsu and get the
Garakotsu and try to convince the Kage to come with them to Mitsu's lair to try to pull Io out of a coma.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I thought. I just wasn't 100%, so I wanted to make sure.
Yep.
And it's the old lady Kage that Ryan talked to about playing chess way back at the beginning of this started recording stuff.
That we weren't part of.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh. Yep, so we gotta go find that Kage and try to convince them to come with us. So that's gonna be interesting.
Akira is still looking off towards the desert, and he's not strong enough. Sure, he's smart and calculated, but if he goes after Mitsu, or worse...
And also, apparently that insurance plan that she has in there.
Wait.
There's a lot you're saying without actually saying anything. I'd like to know some stuff.
Apparently, when I went to go...
Wait. He looks between Tsume and Shiori for a second, and he goes, Do you two know the boy's last name?
I believe we would, but I can't remember.
He put Firestorm because Kelson.
Of course, yeah.
Great.
What?
Very exasperated sigh.
Are they there?
I don't know. The insurance plan...
when I went to go find you guys, like, there's no one in those other rooms. It took me a while to find you guys.
I would like to point out, this is not how the Parent Trap is supposed to work.
It's just... when I saw
What exactly is that insurance plan?
I don't know, but
Okay.
when Sozin brought it up and gave it to Mitsu as an insurance plan, it had a family crest that mentioned the name Firestorm. So if he has Sozin's got all this wrapped around all of you, I wager. What did you do? What? He would only go through all this if he felt like you three were capable of stopping him.
Well, we did convince a giant bunny lady here to not kill us.
If she wasn't the only bunny left, that would have potentially have been bad. Granted, I don't think Sozin believes that the rabbits are all that strong. But...
And Shiori just kind of
What?
goes, well, it works for me, so I don't care.
Yeah, so, what? Do you know what's going on with the whole portals things? Mitsu hasn't been very clear on like what's happening there. Portals are getting attacked to like other summon realms. Do you know anything? Overheard anything?
Give me just a moment.
Okie dokie.
I'm going to roll a thing, but y'all can't see it because you're not in Roll20.
I
Hey,
can simply by click of a button be in there, but
I'm
If you wanna go in, you
already
can.
sitting at the login page, so I mean, like,
yeah, I'm logged in and stuff. I can just hit join the game and I'll be in it.
Yeah, you could jump back in if you wanted to.
Ah! Okay.
Um,
Just because I want to see the ridiculous rolls.
you might have to scroll past the little intro thing when you jump in.
That's a 13.
Well, total 29. He rolled plus 13, but yeah. He sort of does that. Remember Tsume when she was sort of resisting the.
What?
Do you know what Tsume or what Mitsu was wanting to do? You spoke in your story about how she had said something about getting control of all the summoning rooms in an effort to bring EO back.
That's what she's supposed to be doing for Sozin or whoever the name, so they
Right.
can bring her back. But the thing is,
Right.
I don't trust that they'll actually do that.
Neither do I, but there's not a whole lot that. At the time
It's just
that plan was hatched, that's all Mitsu had.
Alright.
You gave her something else, and she's starting to resist a little bit herself. And I really believe that that's good in the long run. But Sozin,
Yeah, but she would still have to be put away though, for all the things she's done. That's just how it is. Even though she may turn good again, it's just she still needs to pay for what she's done. And if they keep attacking portals and stuff, I'm going to make a stand. I don't care. It's just
that's
being
exactly
a summoner and stuff. And
that's exactly the point. They're trying to get all control of all the other summoning realms by virtue of either Sozin or Mitsu. Duh. Either Sozin or Mitsu are trying to take control of those that would have the blood packs. And if the blood packs aren't easily controlled, then they send in their attack force and just destroy it instead.
Like with the rabbit.
And the horses.
Shiori tries to cover Marasagi's ears.
To no avail, because her ears are huge.
I know.
Well, like in my story and stuff, I did meet a frogman and stuff, and he's keeping an eye out over by the toads.
Yes.
I've met a giant lizard man from one of them.
What?
It was like
Lizard man.
Lizard,
Right, yeah.
lizard man. I don't know exactly what he was, but it was a lizard man.
Some kind of
That
lizard.
The lizards are... They and the ogres are both very loyal
They were
to
probably
Mits.
very easily swayed.
Mostly because Mitsu's the only one left of the blood pack for the lizards.
Of course.
And she's... And the ogres are evil anyway, so they'll do anything for a thrill. They're not very smart, but...
Yeah. I wish I could summon Grandma so I can talk to her.
Grandma?
Anyway.
Actually,
She's
Akira
one
and
of the summonings.
Marasaki both look at Tsume at the same time and they're like, Grandma?
Grandma is a tiger. I have a possibility of summoning if I am strong enough. I've met her when I accidentally reversed summoned myself to the tiger realms. And I call her Grandma. Yeah. And I call her Grandma since she's like one of the oldest ones there.
When you summoned yourself to the tiger realm, how did you get back?
I went out through the portal, and there was chakra wraiths on the other side. From what they told me, I just dashed through, and they chased me.
Echo.
And I accidentally not really accidentally, but I ran into my team again, and we defeated the chakra wraiths.
It was an accident. You weren't looking for us.
I was just running for my life. Because there was no way I could survive against the chakra wraiths, since I'm a summoner, and if I summon, my summons would just be gone.
Is the tiger realm near here? If you want to speak to Grandma, why don't we go through the portal to get there?
Somebody's gonna like
look around.
Yeah, somebody's gonna sit there and like look around and stuff, try and get a sense of her sense of bearing of like directions and stuff, and be like, let's see, the wall's there, and then
Roll survival.
yeah, she's like sitting there thinking, it's like, okay, do I exactly know where I need to go from here?
Yep, roll your survival.
Nope. Great. That's fantastic.
Yeah, not really. You're a little lost in your bearings, mostly because you came blazing here because of Ryhn.
Yeah.
I would know where the forest is. Could I roll?
You could roll survival, yeah.
I would actually have to open my sheet to do that.
Yeah, I'd have to open your sheet too, actually.
That'd be a fantastic idea if I did that thing that I said. Here we go. Okay, I've got it open now.
Yay!
+3.
It's loading. Fuck, load faster. 3?
+3.
The 3s!
Yep.
Yeah, alright. I guess streetwise would require there to be streets.
Yes.
Probably.
Okay. I'll roll a damn 3.
But if not, I can sit there and summon one of them and have them point me in the right direction.
There you go.
17.
That works.
Yay! I'll be like, I think it's that way.
You point to, like... Actually, yeah. You're like, I think it's over here, and you point to this forest here, and then Shiori remembers what's in this forest here, and wants to go to this one instead, because that's the one you're supposed to go to.
Okay, I
I
guess
like
we'll go that way.
forest. I want to go see.
Well, that's an option. If she thinks she's going to
I
the right
want
place,
to
and she's
see
going
our
to totally the wrong one.
Friendly
So.
demons.
And also someone who who looked like one of the demons who gave you the electrifying watch that kept shocking Tsume over and over again.
I still need to go see Molly and ask what the fuck.
Anyway.
Alright, I guess we'll head... like, Tsume, like, looks back towards the lawn and just be like... I don't trust him.
Who?
Ryhn, I don't trust him.
Look,
Also, I would like to point out something.
yes.
Sam,
Yes?
because you don't trust him, is Ryhn a part of your team? To you, specifically.
I mean, since team-wise, they were assigned to a group. She doesn't trust them and stuff, and she doesn't really want to work well with him. But they were assigned.
My point is your instinct.
Yeah.
And you know that Ryhn is walking into a trap.
Possibly walking into a trap. That's the thing. She
If he
doesn't
goes
know.
if he goes to Mitsu, possibly walking into a trap, yes.
Wow, this is so conflicting of my belief and instincts. Wow. Okay.
Also, it should be noted that if Shiori randomly was to implant the Byakugan into her, she would be able to look and see what Ryan's doing as Ryan's doing it, because technically he's doing it now.
Hold on, wait. First of all, I can't see that far.
You can with Byakugan.
You can't really see that far. There is a limit.
Yeah, no, there's an upper limit. I think it's...
It's 2 days from where we're at to the wall.
Yeah, I mean, even at, like, walking pace at 3 miles an hour, if you're counting that we walk for, 12 hours? I mean, that's still a good couple dozen miles, so...
Yeah, but still.
It's like 50 miles away. There's no way we're seeing that, unless we're on a mountain, there's no way we're getting that kind of view. I know Byakugan has telescopic vision, but not beyond the curvature of the Earth, sorry.
Yeah, true enough.
It's just, that makes sense.
I don't even think the book goes above 10 miles, and that's still pushing it, so...
He also suffers... Okay, so basically, it would be a far-off thing, and you would have penalty to it to see that far. But the penalty to telescopic eye is 50 feet instead of every 10 feet.
Okay, but still...
So, it would be
50,
ridiculously
okay, but
hard, but it's...
Right, because if it's -1 every 50 feet, just to see 1 mile is minus 130. So...
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a good thing to have while you're, like, kind of traveling, just to watch and see if anyone's, like, coming up on us.
Well,
But-
there's also the prospect that you would... Basically, because it's already been established that, yes, he jumped the wall, you would
Well,
see
that's
a spec...
outside of the character.
That's out of character, but just as a context, if you had telescopic eye,
if he
you
did
would
that,
see a
I
spec...
might be able to.
Yeah. Anyway. Moving on. Because that's
That's
neither
a
here nor
vulture,
there,
he
because you don't
probably
actually have it.
died. It's probably a vulture, he's probably dead.
Anyway. So... what do
And,
you wanna
by
do,
the way,
Sam?
it says group. not team.
I know it says group, not team. So
Okay. You were asking if Rhyn was part
I
of the team.
assumed that they were sort of
As in,
Synonymous.
instinct is in if we get into trouble, whoever she's around is like the group, like who she's with and stuff, like traveling with, like Shiori,
Okay.
and Marasaki, and
so
now
since
Akira and
technically
stuff.
since technically Rhyn is
Whoever's-
not there.
Whoever's currently not the aggressor, I would assume, is the way that should be read.
Yeah.
But yeah, she sits there and she'll do whatever. She will protect the group that she's in because these are her.
It's basically a combat instinct, not a social
Yeah, it's
instinct.
combative.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm actually
Okie
thinking
dokie.
of possibly revising it so it's a little bit better and yeah, whatever.
Anyway. So, what does Tsume want to do then?
We gotta keep moving. If we go to the portal, it's either go to the portal or go after Rhyn, and then we need to go to the portal. But we still need to go to that city. So I think let's go to the portal. I want to check on them. I want to make sure nothing's happening with them.
I agree with that.
This means I'll have to decide if something has happened to them.
Oh,
Great.
don't you dare. And we're taking Marasagi, and none of the cats will touch her.
Just wait until you meet Grandma, and then and
If
I'm
Grandma
trying to
thinks it's Haas and Pfeffer for dinner, then Grandma's gonna get no fight.
Actually,
I don't
have
think she can fit Marasagi into her mouth.
Actually,
I think Grandma's one of the tiny ones, isn't she?
she
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
She's actually classified as tiny.
Yeah.
She's not small. For
I so wish that was recorded.
yeah, I know.
What?
For purposes of image ghost,
Hmm.
Grandma is actually full grown and smaller than Shima was when she was born.
Shima the cat or Shima the tiger cat?
Tiger
Both.
Oh.
cat. Both.
I
Okay,
say
look.
both because a human house cat and a tiger cub are both classified as small creatures for the purposes of D20.
Right.
And she's classified as tiny, which is one size category down.
God.
So she's literally small enough to sit on Tsume's shoulder. Like a parrot.
Or head.
Or forehead.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she's
So
like...
that's
the-
Grandma. There's a reason why she's like tiny and stuff.
And she's...
See, here's the thing. Echo and Sora as kittens, well, you could fit both of them in like 2 hands. Now you can't fit Echo in 4 people's hands.
No, I meant like as a full-grown cat is small.
Right, I know.
When
Yeah,
they were
kittens
kids and
are
stuff, they would
tiny.
be
The-
tiny.
Most
Fit them both in a
creatures...
coffee cup.
Most creatures in D&D, when they start out, their size category is... When they're younger, their size category is one size category smaller than they are full grown. Most creatures,
Right.
even humans, start one size
Small.
category smaller. So, a human...
I'm trying to
yeah,
think
this is
of a
why...
name for. Go ahead.
This is why, like Yoshi, when you were fighting him, he was classified as a small creature, even though he was a human because he was a child. So, this is also why
Yeah, no,
he
that
could
makes sense. That's fine.
this is why he could do compression and turn into a tiny creature.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'm
so-
trying to think of a name for the big guy.
Byaku.
I know Byaku. Like a nickname because I'm horrible
Oh.
with names,
Yeah, I know. You
especially
didn't have a
Japanese
name
names.
for him, I don't think. You were. I think you wanted to come up with a nickname for him, but you were too scared to say it to his face because he's huge.
Which guy?
The
Byaku is the
the king, basically.
Yeah, he's pretty much the main guy of the Tiger Realm. He is
okay.
huge.
Hmm. For purposes of, let me find him here. We go to summoning page because he is actually listed in there.
Mhm. I think he's actually listed as colossal.
Oh right, he's in Friends and Foes because that's where he's sitting. Because he's actually statted from the book. I think. If I can remember how to spell his darn name.
I have a question. Just because I'm looking at the summoning thing, I'm looking at the Blood Pact feat. First of all, what is a hive mind? Because holy crap!
Oh,
that's awesome.
hive mind is the
Bugs.
the bugs.
Oh, the bugs. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I don't see Fluffy Bunny on here as an option.
Hair.
It's a hair.
Hair. Okay, because I was looking for Fluffy Bunny and couldn't find it. All right.
Fluffy bunny.
Fluffy Bunny.
Now, it
Come
should
up
be
with
noted.
a Japanese name that's just like Fluffy Bunny, and it's the new Rabbit Clan.
It should be noted. Some of the summons I tweak just a tad for my purposes, and like in general, it's said in the books in the context that when a summon creature gets bigger and stronger, they typically get bigger, like in the size category. In some instances, I played around with that and said that rather than getting bigger in size to be this massive, huge creature, I instead turned them into humanoid and said that there was like the higher levels were more humanoid in shape. This is why the lizard realm, the lizard summon, has lizard men. Because
I see. Okay.
certain creatures, when they get to a certain size category, I sort of came up with this idea that they become more humanoid. This is why Marasagi is humanoid as well, for the same kind of reason. I also did it because it made it simpler for me to find images, because I just search a creature that exists in something else that happened to be an anthropomorphic animal.
Okay.
Case in point, one creature.
So yeah, all right. Let's.
One creature you're gonna come across later. But anyway,
All right. Let's just ahead and let's hurry up and get to the summon realm.
going to the portal. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well then, I will leave that there because you're not going after Ryhn. We're good.
Yep. Even though Tsume hates it, but she's on a schedule, so.
What the heck kind of name is that?
It's a Fluffy Bunny.
Yeah, it means fluffy bunny.
Because if you because Fluffy's like an onomatopoeia. It's not technically an onomatopoeia, but like it's like the way Japan does onomatopoeia. It does like weird versions of words. So Fluffy is fuwa but that's a little wordy for a name. So
Yeah, so that's gonna be like the new name of the Rabbit Clan that Shiori is going to be. Oh, I don't know, like.
That's gonna be the name of the very first new rabbit to come into existence in the rabbit realm. Because Shiori's gonna name them all.
Right.
you can the adjective version is Kibano. So.
Alright. So.
For Fluffy.
Anyway.
Kibano
So I will end it off here. Okay.
Yep, let's go visit Grandma.
And let's do a sign out, because I forgot to do that. Let's do a sign out for this end, for what you guys are doing. And Ryhn gets solo sessions because he wasn't chased. Hooray!
Yep.
Hooray, he wasn't chased. Great.
What? Did you want me to chase him?
I, as a player, am glad you did that, because this gives him a chance to
Have his own solo.
have his own thing for a while, which is fine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As a DM, though, he's gonna have a chance to get into some crazy crap. So,
Right.
if he gets himself,
That's fine.
I don't want him to be that DM that sends him off on this mission alone, and then, yeah. Anyway,
I mean, to be fair, he kind of chose to go on the mission alone, so...
yeah,
Since he
he
just
is.
stormed off quietly without actually sitting down like a normal being and talking.
I will put it this way.
Tsume did.
I don't think Kelson is the type of person to feel like he needs to be a part of the main group if his character's off doing his own thing. So, unless he tells me otherwise, and I'll let you guys know, if he comes in with a new character, it means Ryhn died.
I was gonna assume that anyway, so...
Ryan did, great. Oh, no, we don't need him to die, Ryan. Alright, please.
I know,
Not while
exactly.
he's in enemy territory. So they can just use his body and his techniques and bring him back and force him to do things. And we don't want to fight him, because
I'm not
he's a
worried about
glass
it.
cannon.
I'm not worried about it.
Right, okay.
Anyway, alright, sign out.
It's that
I'll
glass
do the
part
first-
of Glass Cannon that makes me not even worry about it.
I'll do the first part, Sam can do the last part. This has been Naruto A New World, with the main group. You got to sign out from Kelson earlier, but anyway, moving on.
And well, with I guess the bigger group, we are going to go off and fight Grandma, and hopefully she's not going to be too grumpy that Tsume is bringing Shiori and a bunny lady and an Ansekiro into her group and to the home.
Shit.
This means I have to remake the jungle map. Hooray!